Hello, my name is Nathan Fogerson. I'm a history student with San Diego State University, set to graduate here in May of 2021 with my bachelor's in history. And for the past semester, this semester of spring 2021, I've been lucky enough to be an intern with the Old Town San Diego State Historic Park through the California State Park System. I first wanted to say thank you to all the wonderful staff at Old Town San Diego State Historic Park. They've been very kind, welcoming, and accommodating, especially during these trying times as we go through the COVID-19 health pandemic. Finding an internship was very difficult in general during this time, but Old Town San Diego State Historic Park went above and beyond, not only providing me with the internship, but being very kind and making me feel welcome and at home with the rest of the staff there. So this internship has really kind of taken me out of my usual area of study. During my time at San Diego State University, I've spent a lot of time focusing on international relations and 20th century problems. Old Town San Diego State Historic Park reflects more back into the 19th century and kind of what San Diego would have looked like back in the day when it was first around. And so this internship appealed to me because I wanted to kind of get outside of my comfort zone and challenge myself to other types of history that I generally not been accustomed to. And so during this internship, I accomplished and was working on two main tasks. The first task was involved research and providing and writing short digital essays that would help with the virtual tour. The second aspect was going in person and working at the museums and volunteering there, and that's kind of why I'm in this outfit here today. So I kind of wanted to give an overview of what I did and what I accomplished during my internship, how the internship challenged me, successes and failures that I've had along the way, and advice that I have for the next group of interns coming in. So to start off, I wanted to share the work that I've been doing for the virtual tour. Now, obviously, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been very hard for people to access traditional places like parks and museums. So I had helped them with their virtual tour. Now, at first, the virtual tour it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. It allows people to go inside the museums and look around as most of the museums are currently closed due to the pandemic. Now, as you can see, you can kind of look around at the different artifacts and see the different things, but it's kind of, you know, it it's just it lacks a personal element to it. And so I, when looking at this, decided that I wanted to contribute by adding something, small, short digital essays to this virtual tour that would help describe and show the buildings and the history behind it and try to get people more interested. Now, this project has taken a lot of time and effort, but it has been a very eventful project and one that I've been proud of. And now I can actually see some of my work live and on the website, which is incredible to me. So as you can see here, you can look at the timeline of the museum, or you can go inside of it. But my contribution here is this very specific thing. It is a 2 to 3 page short digital essay that provides background information about the building, how it was used, the people there, and kind of just give people a very short, brief understanding of the building and its significance. The idea of this is to hopefully bring people in, even if for a short time, even if just for 2 or 3 pages, and get them more interested in the history, and also provide them with more resources so they could do more research of their own if they so choose. So this is one of the essays for the courthouse that I wrote. As you can see, it is a rather small and brief essay that incorporates some of the original pictures of the building. In fact, this was one find that I was proud of, which is this was a picture from 1869 from one of the Freemasonry museums. And in this, you could see some of the original buildings, the original courthouse right there before it was eventually destroyed in a fire. But as you can see, this short, concise essay was meant to give people an understanding of the building, the purposes that it served, and what it might have contributed to the community. And at the bottom, I'd provided additional resources for interested people to kind of learn more about the building, its purpose, and what it did. Now, the interesting thing about this for me was the amount of research and time that went into it. This had me going through old newspapers and newspaper archives from the 1800s, had me going through city council meetings from the San Diego City Council from the 1800s. And a lot of my internship comprised of many days of research, research, and research to provide the best quality product that I could to Old Town San Diego State Historic Park. Now, currently, I have written 4 of these digital essays to be attached onto the different museums. 2 of them are complete, and 2 of them are still in the process of being edited and eventually will be added onto the virtual tour as well. I have written one about the schoolhouse and about different other museums there. Now, obviously, as you can see at the time of this recording, the schoolhouse one isn't up, but it is a slow process to get it up. I think my expectations going into this were that, these would be, quick, easy essays that I'd be able to type out, bust out, and just get up immediately. But what I learned rather quickly was that a lot of this research and time and effort that went into this project was very time consuming. And it was very rewarding as well to be able to go through archives, find different sources, put it all together, and present, this small, short digital essay that was a reflection of all the hard work that I have done, but is also providing an opportunity for citizens of San Diego, or maybe, people curious in other parts of the world who can't access the park as much physically right now, but it gives them an insight more to what was going on. I think the biggest challenge in this aspect of the internship for me personally was the amount of different resources that I had, in the sense that not all of them were reliable. You had a lot of websites where you could Google it and find something, but it wasn't always credible. So I think the challenge for me was going through and really finding and differentiating between the reliable sources and the non-reliable sources, and providing the best quality product that I could. I think it was interesting was just how much effort went into this. I would send a draft off, it'd be sent back. I'd send the corrected draft, I'd be sent back. And this, this is a very time consuming process, and obviously for a good reason, because again, we want to make sure that we're putting out the best quality product that we can. But it really showed me the level of detail that goes into professional historical research, especially when associated with a state historic park. We have to get this information right, and we want to make sure that we're providing them with the best quality product. So overall, I think that part of my internship was very rewarding and very fun. It is still something that is in progress, but by the time that this internship is officially over, I will be able to be proud of the work I've done, look back, and see my impact from my internship forever preserved on this website. Now, the other aspect of my internship was the aspect that had me going into the park and dressing up in historical attire, as you can see, which looks very good, by the way, and volunteering at the museums, interacting with the public, and sharing and discussing some of the history regarding some of these museums. Now, obviously, this has been rather challenging during the COVID-19 pandemic. We've only been able to have a couple museums open at a time, and only on the weekends. But overall, this was a very extremely rewarding process. Again, the staff there just made me feel welcomed and like I was a part of the family immediately. But being able to interact with people, even in a limited way, and share history with them and talk with them about history was amazing. It really provided me insight into an aspect of history that I'd not really previously been exposed to. During a lot of my time at San Diego State, a lot of my work and research has been researching, writing essays, and comparing, scholarly sources and all this. But this is the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of history when you are in the park and speaking with people about history. This was an extremely rewarding process because a lot of times people, I feel, might be intimidated by history and be intimidated by these long essays and scholarly sources. But when you're spending the time and you're speaking with people one-on-one, and you're letting them know about the history of a building, and you're talking to them, it's such a rewarding experience. In fact, the most rewarding experiences that I've had during this internship were these brief 2 to 3 minute conversations that I was able to have with guests as they were coming in, talking to them about the history and getting them involved and interested in the history of the buildings, of the museums, and kind of engage them and see that light bulb go on and see them enjoying this conversation about history. I think that in general, historians have an amazing opportunity when working at these museums to really connect with the communities at large and share their love of history with them, and hopefully foster some love of history with the people that they are interacting with. I can't understate the amount of enjoyment that I've gotten out of working in these museums and talking with these people. And I've been very blessed to have this internship. Now, my initial perception of the internship, I was unsure of what to expect, for multiple reasons. Just because I didn't know what was expected of me at first, and I didn't know how COVID-19 would impact that. And so it was interesting, but I think that Old Town San Diego State Historic Park has met and exceeded every expectation I've had, with just the sheer enjoyment for what I've done, the experience that I've got, and how it's changed my view as a student of history. It has reminded me that the most important interactions are often the ones that you have with people going to these museums. And again, these short 2 or 3 minute conversations are conversations that can change someone's perception of history completely. I've been very blessed to have this opportunity. And going forward, I want to make some recommendations to other students who may be lucky enough to have an internship here at Old Town San Diego State Historic Park. And that piece of advice I would have would be just to go all in. I myself was a bit hesitant at first about wearing the period attire, looking the part, going into the park, and engaging with people at the museum. But once I did it, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it completely. And it is something that I think every student of history, anyone that's studying history professionally at a university or otherwise, should experience at some point, because I feel like it really opens um, their minds and to the other aspect of history beyond just research. Um, and so for anyone who's watching this video, any interns who are curious, who are a bit hesitant, who are a bit nervous, just go for it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that you might not ever get again, and one that can teach you so much about yourself, but also about history in general. So I really recommend just diving straight in and getting involved. And again, as I'm wrapping up here, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the wonderful staff at Old Town San Diego State Historic Park for making this such an enjoyable experience, and for making this semester, my final semester, one that I will certainly remember for the rest of my life. So thank you to the staff at Old Town San Diego State Historic Park, and thank you to those who might be watching this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.